Welcome back. Today we're going to do a little movie about one of my clients who is disabled, and he gets massage twice a week, and his name is Sam. Now Sam has epilepsy, brain injury from birth. He's quadrapalegic. The generic overall term for this is cerebral palsy, and they can absolutely benefit from massage. And this is Sam. Look at those eyes. He just has the most beautiful eyes. Now, Sam is unique because he's nonverbal and he's paralyzed from the throat down. So the way he communicates is by blinking his eyes. So he'll blink once for yes, twice for no, and 3 times for I don't know or maybe. Now with Sam, our goals are not to bring movement back to his body. We have to keep our goals very realistic. So the treatment plan that I set up with his mom, who's his primary caregiver, is to bring him some sense of relaxation in his muscles. Because of his epilepsy, he does have episodes where he arches, sometimes for hours at a time, and seizes. And this puts a huge tax on his muscles and his tendons and his ligaments. So what my goal is when I'm working with Sam is, number 1, to relax his muscles. Number 2, to increase his circulation. And number 3 really is to just kind of calm him down and bring a sense of peace for at least an hour of his day where he doesn't have to be fighting with his own mind and body. So keeping that in mind every time I work with Sam, depending on how he's doing that day physically, depends on what I'm able to do with him. Now today was a good day. He was not seizing or arching during this session, so I was able to do everything that I wanted to do as far as his biceps and triceps, his flexors and his extenders, and most importantly, his hands. I spend a lot of time working with his fingers, his hands, and his flexors and extenders. When he is in a full-on seizing, arching mode, his hands are so tightly fisted. So my goal is to try to stretch them out and give them as much range of motion as I possibly can. And because Sam has a trach tube, he cannot lie in the prone position. So everything that I do needs to be with him in the supine position, or sometimes we can roll him over on his side. But if he's in a really relaxed state like he was on this day, I usually don't roll him over because he eventually will fall asleep during his massage. So because he is still awake, I am tapping his chin because I'm asking him questions and he's ignoring me, which he can sometimes do if he's in a mood. But he did eventually give me the 1 blink for yes, that what I was doing felt good and that he wanted to continue with more stretching. So getting on the side of his bed with one of my knees often helps me with my body mechanics while I work on him, especially when I do any range of motion on his arms or his legs. And we did try to put Sam on my massage table for the first, I'd say, month that I was working with him, and it just seemed to be more relaxing for him to keep him in his bed. And if he's not in his bed, then he's in his wheelchair. and getting him on my table and then off again when we were done would sometimes jostle him. And if he falls asleep during his massage, we like to just have him in bed so that he can just take a nap right afterwards. So that seems to work out the best for Sam. And I don't mind having to climb on and off the bed to get the best position because it's actually kind of comfortable for me. And knowing that it's comfortable for him, it just works best for everybody. Working with Sam's legs and feet, I have to keep in mind that he's never walked, so there is atrophy in the muscles of his hips and legs and feet, and his feet have literally never touched the ground. So my focus is on each and every toe, as well as stretching out the plantar ligaments, the dorsal ligaments, and focusing on each and every muscle of the leg all the way up to his hip girdle. The goal is to increase the circulation of not only his blood, but his lymph fluid as well. It took Sam and I a good 2 months to establish a routine that he was comfortable with. I think in the beginning, it just takes time to grow a trust where he got used to the fact that I was going to be putting my hands on him twice a week, every week. And in that time, we had to communicate with each other on the type of pressure that he was most comfortable with, the type of stretches that he does and does not like. And we had to do that through yes or no questions because that's all he can answer. So when we finally reached that point where there was a trust and a routine that he was comfortable with, it was a breakthrough for both of us. That's when I started getting smiles from him, and a lot of his answers were yes blinks. And it was just a really great moment, and I could take the massage a little bit further at that point as far as doing more stretches and rolling him on his side to get to his shoulder blades and his back. And I think, it's definitely worth saying that the disabled are probably a very underappreciated group of people when it comes to massage therapy. I think there's this idea out there that they can't be massaged because you'll hurt them. But it's not true. Working with Sam has been extremely educational for me, and that's why I wanted to make this video to show that not only can it be done, you just have to kind of get creative with your body mechanics, but it can be so beneficial, especially with people who have epilepsy. So this is about halfway through the massage, and you can see Sam is just conked right out. And part of this is because he finds the massage very relaxing, but also because about 3 days prior to this massage, he was very archy and he exhausts himself. It's so tiring for the body to go through that. And he gets to a point where he's just so worn out that he can't help but fall asleep. And one of my favorite things to do with Sam is his hip stretches, because his hips, without walking, you have to remember his hips are never getting that lymph flow just from movement like somebody else would. So it's very important to make sure that I move those joints around and get that synovial fluid and the blood circulation flowing and the lymph. And this is fun because in the beginning, he wasn't quite sure if he liked those stretches, but we kind of worked up to it slowly, and now he really likes them a lot. I was in constant communication with him up until the point when we figured out that he was comfortable with them. And now, for the most part, I try not to talk to him during his massage because I really want him to completely relax and get the full effect. Once we worked out our routine, I can now leave him alone and let him just relax. And there's a little yawn. Sometimes he wakes up and then he drifts back off again. And I do play relaxing music in the background for him. I turn on his fan because he tends to run a little hotter than average. And if it is chilly, I'll cover him up. But on this day, it was pretty warm. And he was perspiring, so we wanted to make sure that he was as comfortable as possible, so we left him uncovered. And I get to raise and lower his bed based on how I need to sit on the bed. And I save his head and his neck and his face and scalp for last because we figured out that it's his absolute favorite. And we like to finish off that way so that he can just drift off into a nap after I'm done. His favorite essential oil is lavender, so I have put that all over my hands. And I'm going to be doing some gentle rotations on his neck. And I like to work a lot on his occipital ridge because, his neck muscles, it's like touching rocks. It is just so tight in that area because his head is at a constant angle. As you can see, that angle that he's in right now, that is the norm for him. His neck does not sit at a straight angle. So I try to work all the muscles. With the trach tube in the way, it's a little bit difficult, so I kind of have to get creative. But the jaw is another situation with Sam that tends to get extremely taxed when he is seizing and arching. So I spend a lot of time on those pterygoid muscles right in there and around the TMJ. And as you can see, he's closed his eyes because, again, this is his favorite part and he likes to just chill out. I don't talk to him during this time. I just let him drift. So this is the end of the video. I'm just doing some gentle stretches on his pecs. He is napping at this point, and I am just going to quietly move away and let him finish his resting. And I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. I think it's a very important one. It's one of the favorite things I've ever created on my channel. And if you like what you've seen, please give me a thumbs up to say you liked the video and consider subscribing to my channel for more content. Until next time, thank you very much. Bye.